Hello, everybody. Welcome back to FOD Shorts. This is the podcast that is bi-weekly for the radio FM program Freedom on Deck, which is heard on 94.9 News Now and Stimulating Talk on Sundays, 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time. You can hear that on 949newsnow.com or also on TuneIn Radio. This is where we get to really let loose, give you guys some other alternative to our show. And I'm Chet Martin, joined as always by the fearless one himself, Mr. CV Berton. CV, how you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing great, and I just want to remind the listeners that all the links are in the comments below, or part of this podcast.
Well, listen, before we get started with the pod, I want to first of all say that I'm sorry that we missed out this week. My son was basically, CV, ready to go to the hospital.
Oh, my God.
Over the weekend, so I had to pull the show. It was just one of those things, being a father comes first. My little 8-year-old boy it wasn't good. We figured out that it was food poisoning in the end.
Man.
But it was bad. He was bowling over in pain, and when that happens, nothing comes before your children. You know what I mean?
But he's okay now, right?
He's good.
All right.
He's good.
Good.
Some things that aren't good, though, and we're going to get into them.
Uh-oh.
Justin Trudeau. First of all, did you see his eyebrow fall off?
No, I didn't see that. I heard everybody talking about it. And I just don't like the guy, so I try to avoid him whenever possible, so I didn't really watch the videos.
Well, Trump's trade advisor, Peter Navarro, went on an onslaught against Trudeau. It's Sunday after the president slammed the Canadian Prime Minister. Navarro said there's a special place in hell for leaders like Trudeau, that's a pretty bold statement.
Yeah. He
was on with Chris Wallace after Trump's top economic advisor, Larry Kudlow, who's awesome. I love Larry.
Yeah.
It was on Sunday morning to rail against sophomore Trudeau for stabbing us in the back. The thing with Trudeau is, once Trump left, he got his big boy muscles and decided to attack the president because the president finally, is sticking up for us and wants us to have free trade and give us the ability to at least compete with other nations.
Right.
Finally, we're getting our gross domestic product back in line to Ronald Reagan days. I mean, these are good things happening, CV, but for the globalist elitists, it's bad.
It's fair trade, and a lot of Trump's critics were against his trade policies, saying he's going to start a trade war, and we're for free trade, and Trump is not for free trade. Yeah, but then after Trudeau made his stupid remarks, Trump said, what we really want is zero tariffs and zero regulations.
Yeah.
And
well, that's the point. The point isn't to have to put tariffs on anyone. Everybody acts like he wants to put tariffs across the board, and that's not what's happening here.
If everybody had zero tariffs, you can't get freer than that.
Right.
And that's what he was proposing.
But the left creates the false illusion that Trump is pulling tariffs out of his rear end, which is not what's happening.
No, he's
here.
threatening. He's threatening tariffs. That doesn't mean he wants to use them.
Well, he's been threatening tariffs, CV, since he started running. I mean, he said if we have to impose tariffs on China, we're going to do it.
Yeah, unless they lower theirs.
Right.
That's what it is. He's using it as leverage, and as well he should, because Trump wants to put the steelworkers back to work. These liberal policies have been hollowing out the breadbasket of our country for decades, and it's time to put the Americans first, put them back to work, and by having fair trade equals free trade, in my opinion. And by doing that, you're putting Americans back to work, and that's great for the economy. But it's bad for Wall Street, because Wall Street There are a lot of people in Wall Street who hate Trump because of his trade policies, and because they've been betting against America for years and years and years, getting rich off of our bad fortune by betting against America. Like,
well, if I go back to gross domestic product, at our height under Reagan, we were at a 4 point. I don't have it in front of me. I believe it was 4.3.
Yeah.
GDP. Now, at the height under Barack Obama, it was 0.4 in GDP.
Ugh.
Where even Michael Savage on his radio program talked about the boats that come in and out of San Francisco Bay.
Yeah.
Coming in from China. And when they come in with VCRs, DVD players, computers, you name it. You know, I know some of those things I named are out of date, but I'm just saying, TVs, you know, all these technological devices that we use as Americans. And when they leave port, they were just taking away scrap metal. Scrap metal.
Yeah, I know.
That's what they were taking out of here. So now with Trump, we're actually building up a pretty good GDP again. Anybody that knows what that really means, it means that we're shipping out more materials to other nations, which is a good thing. We're bringing in money.
Right.
Finally again. And that's why President Trump has basically threatened these tariffs on these countries, is in order to get everybody. Listen, it's leadership by force.
Right.
It's strength through intimidation. I know that sounds kind of hard for anybody on the left, but trust me, this economy does not grow unless you use those tactics.
Yeah, but when Canada is taxing us 270% for steel coming in, how do you compete with that? You know,
you don't.
And then Trudeau says after the G7 meeting, he says, "Well, I don't get it. We want to supply the United States with oil and energy, and they could supply us with food and manufactured goods." That's like saying, we'll supply the lumber for your houses, and you can supply curtains for ours.
Supply a foot in your ass.
Yeah.
Supply that. I'll supply you an eyebrow in case another one falls off, you fag.
Yeah.
Listen, speaking of fags,
you mean
Robert De Niro.
Okay, good. I thought you were going to say fags like the kind you smoke in England. All right, but go ahead.
Well, I am smoking. No, I did not mean homosexuals, of course. We're not that kind of show. We're inclusive, CV.
That's right. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. Okay. But listen, De Niro goes out in front of the Tony Awards, which, you know, nothing says red-blooded American like sitting down with the family, cracking open a cold Coors Light and watching the Tony Awards, right?
Oh, my God.
I mean, yeehaw! I mean, that's Americana if I ever heard it.
I didn't even know it was on until I heard the reports today about, you know, what he said.
But the point is, the guy comes out and he says, it's not dump Trump anymore, it's fuck Trump. Now It's just fuck Trump. He repeated it twice.
Well, good. Well, well, now it's not dump De Niro's movies anymore. Now it's fuck De Niro's movies now.
That's right.
We're not gonna go see we're not gonna see your pussy ass movies anymore, motherfucker.
Well, what has he done? Like, what is he on the 15th sequel to Meet the Fuckers? I mean, my God. I mean, how irrelevant is Robert De Niro anyway? But my point is, like, you know, here's the point, okay? Robert De Niro comes out and spews his nonsense to the American people.
Yeah.
But the American people aren't watching the frickin' Tony Awards, bro.
No, I didn't even know it was on.
Right. It's like, you know, why do I care what you say in front of... Oh, and they gave him a standing ovation. Of course, they're all half-witted liberals. Like, you know, go do that in front of everyday red-blooded Americans. You're not going to get that reaction, Bobby. You know, it's mind-numbing because in the same week I hear Bill Maher come out and he says that he hopes that the economy crashes.
I know. But wait.
He says it.
I know, and because he's being honest for once. But getting back to De Niro, he has like an IQ of about 90, people say. He's an actor, he's a narcissist. And narcissists generally hate Trump because guess what? Trump actually has real achievements. Whereas narcissists pretend to have achievements. You know what I mean? That's the difference between a narcissist and a real achiever.
Well, so the truth is about Bobby De Niro is, and I heard Michael Savage say this, and he's right. Bobby De Niro came around, and he came up in an upbringing with an art. You know, his dad was an artist, right?
Yeah.
He grew up in New York. He grew up around the same sides that Donald Trump grew up, and they're the same age. So when you think about it in that perspective, they are competitors.
He's got an IQ of about 90. So when he comes out and he says, fuck Trump, he doesn't even know why he's saying fuck Trump. He doesn't even understand himself and his own jealousy because he doesn't articulate what it is about Trump that he doesn't like.
No, he says, oh, he's a mook. He's
a dog. He's a moot. He's a mutt.
He's a mook. I'm going to punch him. He's a mutt.
Yeah.
Well, you know, you're not.
How do you argue?
Right.
How do you have a cohesive argument with somebody like that? You can't. Because the guy doesn't even have any point. There's no point.
Well, that's the point. I mean, what I'm saying is the guy has always been jealous of Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Because Donald Trump achieved the presidency. And Robert De Niro achieved, you know, Goodfellas. There's a difference there. I mean, and it's not to say, listen, when I was a kid, I thought Robert De Niro was great. You know, I used to love his movies, and I was like, oh, you know, the Godfather Part 2, and you could go down the list, Goodfellas, all that, and I never looked at him as being a leftist. I did not know these things. And then when it came out that he was, which I didn't really understand until Trump won, it totally turned me off to him. If I see him on TV, I turn the dial.
Well, I always loved De Niro's acting. I have nothing bad to say about that. I'm just saying that his job is acting. So that's kind of like pretend. If you want to, really be honest about it, his job is to pretend. Whereas Trump's job has always been to produce something real. Everything De Niro does is an illusion, a Hollywood illusion. He's good at it, don't get me wrong. But that's the difference between a pretender and a real achiever.
Right. So listen, the point is that Robert De Niro doesn't articulate what the American people think. And I don't think he really understands why Trump was elected. And it's not just De Niro, man. Let's be perfectly honest. It's all these leftist Hollywood elitists that they just can't comprehend. Why did we have Obama for 8 years and then all of a sudden they went for Donald Trump? Why? Why didn't they put Hillary in? Well, because the country was failing. We saw that that you're basically replacing us. I mean, we had to put a stop to that. The economy sucked, jobs sucked, and they won't even admit the fact that black jobs are through the roof right now and that unemployment is down and that the economy's recovering. I mean, my God, it was even the New York Times that finally had to come out and say, this is a good thing.
Yeah.
The New York Times said that. They can't stand it, and they want him to fail so bad. Going back to Bill Maher saying, I hope that the economy crashes. Why? Why do you want that, Bill? What, you want everybody to fail?
Yeah.
That's really great because you know what, Bill Maher? You won't fail because you're a gazillionaire.
Yeah.
How disrespectful is that for anyone that listens to Bill Maher that struggles day to day?
Well, the comedian Bill Maher and these actors and movie stars are all the same. They don't understand that the people that they are supporting are for communism. And they're disguising their agenda behind all this social warrior justice crap. It's all pretend, the stuff about transvestites using bathrooms. Nobody cares. The transvestites don't care. They're just trying to drum up some kind of issue to rally support among dumb people who don't understand that these politicians are for communism. Well, it starts off with socialism, and it incrementally becomes communism. And that's what the word progressive means. The word progressive means incremental. And that's what they're really trying to do. They're supporting socialists, but they don't understand the difference.
Did you see, you know, I know how much you love Twitter with their with their shadow banning of us and shadow banning of you.
I thought they were lifting my shadow ban the other day because I was getting a lot of responses and a lot of follows from people that I didn't follow. Like people were like liking my posts that I didn't even know that they could see them. All of a sudden, I'm like, are they lifting my shadow ban? All of a sudden, I don't know what's going on here. But go ahead, I'm listening.
I don't know. We've lost some followers. Like we're trending now at like 2,983, and it kind of stays there. And then we'll like pick up and go down. It's very weird.
Yeah.
But anyway, the CEO actually went to a Chick-fil-A, right?
Yeah.
And he took a picture. He took a picture of it, and he used a coupon. He took a picture of the coupon saying that, you know, he was getting a sandwich or whatever. And man, the backlash that he got for going to Chick-fil-A from the LGBTQ, LMNOP, QRSTUV community
during Gay Pride Month, no less.
Right. So he got annihilated, and it was hilarious to see CB. He immediately cowered. He immediately was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'll never go to Chick-fil-A again."
I posted it.
It's the height of mental disorder.
I tweeted to somebody who was highlighting that something to the effect that it's nice that at Jack, that's what he's called, at Jack on Twitter, is getting a dose of his own brainwashing propaganda that he promotes by tamping down on our voices and artificially boosting the other voice. So it's like Frankenstein's monster coming after Frankenstein, the scientist.
And you know what it is? It's like he actually had a moment where I actually kind of felt that he was an okay guy. And then he just totally betrayed that. No,
he's not an okay guy at all. He's a
no, I know, but I'm
saying,
I was like, oh wow, he goes to Chick-fil-A, and then all of a sudden he's like, sorry, my bad. You know, it's maddening.
Yeah,
it really is.
He's a victim of his own. He dug a pit for us to fall into, and he fell into it himself.
So listen, speaking of sites that lean to the left, Snopes. You know Snopes, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, we all know Snopes. They're a bunch of liars. But Snopes has been caught lying for a certain Democrat politician again.
Right.
They brushed a damaging pedophilia scandal under the carpet. It was an embattled fact-checking website has now been exposed as a political PR operation raising serious questions about their future with Facebook and Google. Oh, wow. Who gives a damn? In February this year, Michael Sari, a Michigan Democrat currently running for Congress, posted derogatory Facebook comments about a judge who sentenced Larry Nassar in sexual abuse of hundreds of American gymnasts. We all know about that. And as part of a Facebook discussion in response in the sentencing, Mr. Sari defended the convicted pedophile and condemned the judge who found him guilty. His comments included the following. Judge was wrong for her personal vocal opinions on record. That should be a crime against itself. Lastly, what do you think of this feminazi judge who would say if her, well, that's a real liberal thing to say, if her husband asked for a blowjob? Wow. His comments angered many Facebook users, included some who combined through his older posts and found that Mr. Sari had been posting pro-pedophilia comments on his personal Facebook page for years, including sharing his belief that it is normal for adult men to marry and have sex with prepubescent girls. Now, what happened with Mr. Sari is Snopes came forward and tried to debunk what he had said, and as far as his pro-pedophilia comments, and they've been figured out that they were full of shit, basically.
Yeah.
That this guy is a pro-pedophilia Democrat that's running, and Snopes went up and swept it under the rug. Now, they should be immediately taken down, in my opinion, CB.
Yeah, well, Snopes was saying that there was no proof that this politician, whose name eludes me at the moment, actually said those things. Because at first he was denying it. He's like, somebody broke into my account in 2016. Did you report it? No. All right, so somebody breaks into your account and posts under your name, and it stays up on your wall. You don't even delete it, and you don't even report it.
That sounds like Joy Reid.
Yeah.
If someone broke into my account and put this out there.
And then later, when questioned about it, he's like, "Yeah, I said it. What's it to you?" No, he didn't say it like that, but in essence, he was like admitting that he did it. And he was saying that in biblical times they were bopping little girls and marrying them and stuff, and they would just wait until they have a period first, and then they'd procreate. I'm like, yeah, but they also were involved in human sacrifice back then. Is that supposed to be okay too?
Oh, he sounds like a good Muslim.
I know.
I'm looking at the picture of him here, and he looks stoned.
Yeah, he probably is. He probably thinks there's nothing wrong with being stoned. They were doing it. They were smoking pot in biblical times.
Didn't the owner of Snopes has been in hot water before, right?
I'm
drawing a blank on why.
All I know is that once in a while I see that Snopes says that the WikiLeaks Podesta emails where he's accused of pedophilia and satanic rituals, there's no proof of it. Well, I saw the emails. Don't tell me. I saw them.
Yeah,
he's guilty as sin.
Years ago, when we were doing the show with Justin, me and Brian, we had Juanita Broderick on.
Oh, yeah.
And we interviewed her about her experience with President Clinton, where he raped her back in 1978.
Yeah.
And, somebody came on and they put up a Snopes fact check. And it was like basically saying that Juanita Broderick wasn't really raped by President Clinton. And I was just like, fuck off, mate. Like, really? You're going to fucking say that shit to me? Because it was a Brit that put it up. So,
yeah.
so that was why I called him mate. I think that's more of an Australian thing.
Yeah.
But I'm like, fuck off, like, really, the left covers for some really nasty, barbaric things.
Yeah, what? Juanita Broderick, I love her. She's a conservative now and all that, but, women have to take care of themselves. You cannot depend on this justice system, especially when you're dealing with Democrats who each cover each other's asses all the time.
Well, yeah, but she didn't know. I mean, we're going back to 78. I mean,
no, I'm just saying like
time in general.
Just saying, like, when he bit her lip and on the way out the door he said, "You better put some ice on that."
Right.
She should have said yeah, and then when he turned around, she should have picked up a lamp and bashed it over his head.
You're right. It's scary.
I know.
It's scary what the left does, and how they are able to bully people to submission.
And if you say anything about the Clintons, they'll suicide you. I'm pretty sure that Kate Spade and Anthony Bourdain were murdered. But I mean, that's what my gut tells me.
That's interesting you bring that up, and let's talk about this a little bit before we end the show.
All right.
Bourdain, Spade, Robin Williams, we can go down the line. All these famous leftist celebrities hanging themselves, and I was wondering about this.
Yeah.
Do you think that this could be some kind of erotica?
I was thinking,
where they're, I mean, not to take away from what you just said.
Yeah.
But it's kind of weird that they all hang themselves. Like, it seems like maybe, Bourdain was 61. Why would you do that?
Well, speaking of Robin Williams, yeah, I definitely think it's a strong possibility that he was doing this erotica thing with the hanging. Because he did a movie, like, just prior to that.
Right.
About that very subject, where he found his son hanging in the closet because he was practicing that erotica thing, where you put a rope around your neck just right before you orgasm or something, and it's supposed to prolong it. and he accidentally killed himself. He actually did a movie about that. Only a couple of years before they found him in a closet. Similar.
And I think they kind of alluded to the fact that is what happened with him.
Yeah, but they'd rather have more sympathy for him. And just like in the movie, he propagated the lie that his son was depressed from being bullied at school, and that's why he killed himself. And then it only came out later that the son killed himself by accident with this erotica thing, and that was in the movie too. And so. I mean, I don't mean to laugh, but it's ironic that Robin Williams might have done the same thing, and then to cover for his stupid mistake, they're saying, "Oh, he was depressed. He was on, he used to be on drugs, and he was off drugs, and he couldn't handle it, and then he couldn't,
You know, the weird thing about Williams is he was Michael Savage's neighbor for years.
Yeah,
that had to be kind of interesting.
Yeah, they would talk about their dogs or something.
And you know, Bourdain, I'm sorry, man. I saw somebody that called him like a huge gaping asshole, and it was I guess it was one of his friends that was kind of like, if your friend kills yourself, like you're a dick or whatever.
Yeah.
But he really was a huge gaping asshole. I didn't like Bourdain. I mean, he was a scumbag. I remember he said that if he served President Trump dinner, he'd serve him hemlock.
Yeah, but I believe he was starting to wake up, because he was bashing the Clintons over Hillary's covering for Weinstein, who apparently raped his Bourdain's girlfriend. And
oh, really?
Who was a movie star.
Well, that she was a monkey wrench in
she's this
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, she's this beautiful brunette movie star, and she was up in front at some award ceremony. And she was giving everybody in the audience, all these Hollywood actors, the finger, and saying, "You knew. I have no use for you."
Oh, that was her? That was his girlfriend?
That was her.
Really?
Yeah. And on May 2nd, and I posted this on my wall as well, May 2nd, Bourdain tweeted, "I'm on the receiving end of the Clintons' operatives' wrath." And it's not...
Really?
Yeah, and it's not...
Did he put that up on Twitter or what?
Yeah, on Twitter, and I have it on my wall. And he says, and it's not fun. And it's not fun.
Now that you say that, I remember that. You're right.
Yeah,
you're right. That's interesting.
He was about to come out and expose them for Pizzagate or something serious, because he's on the inside. He's with CNN. Half the people on CNN are involved in satanic ritual abuse. Guarantee it. Including Chris Cuomo, whatever his name is.
Homo, yeah. Dude, now that you said all that, and I'm piecing it together, that girl, that came out. That video, I watched that like 2 weeks ago.
And Kate Spade was helping the Clinton Foundation with that whole Haiti thing, and Haiti is where they were trafficking children out of there.
Yeah, I know.
She knew something. She knew something. She was probably about to sing, and then they suicide her.
But they'll tell us that's fake news, CV.
Well,
that's it. Between any time.
Yeah, everything I say is fake news. Capitalism is great. Capitalism works. That's fake news. Communism has killed like hundreds of millions of people. That's fake news.
It's true. That's what they do, though. That's the argument every time. Like I told you, a gentleman, Ray Hackett, on the radio program that said it was fake news when I said women in Sweden were being raped by refugees.
Refugees.
I mean, it's crazy.
But the body count on the under Clinton is not fake news. Anybody can look up how many people.
We know that's not fake news.
Yeah,
and it's upwards towards 70 right now.
And it just keeps going on and on.
It's probably a lot more than that if you're saying, nobody really thinks about these facts that you just gave out. I didn't know about that.
Seth Rich was murdered.
We know Seth Rich.
I think Andrew Breitbart was murdered because he was calling out John Podesta. And he says, "What's in your closet, John Podesta?" Next thing you know, he dies of a heart attack after going to a restaurant.
When do you think we're going to get killed?
don't give them any ideas. You're really good. You're really good at giving them ideas. Let's not.
All right.
Well, if we become mega successful, yeah.
Right now we're just a Sunday show. But speaking of which, this Sunday we ask everybody to please come by and listen to our show 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time on 94.9 News Now and Stimulating Talk in Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Long Island. But if you're not in any of those states, what you can do is go to 949newsnow.com. You can listen there, and you can get the app. And you can also go to TuneIn Radio, and you can listen there. We put the links up in our
the notes of the video.
Our notes in the video, which is on Freedom on Deck Facebook page. And I also put it up on the Twitter page, in case you're wondering.
And it's on the BitChute page. It's on the YouTube page.
And, dude, do we have a big, big show this week? I mean, for God's sakes, listen, folks, we got Dr. Judy Jasser coming on. I mean, my God, Fox News, pro-Trump, pro-America, anti-jihad. This guy's amazing. You don't want to miss that. Yeah. We have Matt Moneymaker coming on the program from Finding Bigfoot. It's one of the things that we really love, aside from politics, is our infatuation with Sasquatch. So, Matt Moneymaker, he's a big deal. We're going to have Matt Moneymaker on. And we also have Christian Saucier coming on. He just put a lawsuit out against the Obama administration and against James Comey, basically for their false accusations against him. And I think this is going to be a good thing. This lawsuit, I think, is going to be a great thing for President Trump.
Yep.
Well, TV, it was another great mini podcast show with you for FOD Shorts, and I hope that everybody comes and listens to us Sunday.
And we got to get Brian in on one of these, because I feel like we're leaving him out, and so we got to fix that. We got to fix that.
We'll fix that, and everybody show up on Sunday, and everybody have a very good day.